The night was quiet in the small town of Cedar Hill. The stars shone brightly above. Inside a small house, a boy named Liam slept peacefully. He was just 8 years old. His parents were asleep in the next room. Everything seemed normal. But, far above Earth, something was watching. A small alien scout ship floated in the darkness. Inside, strange beings, the Zarnok, looked at screens filled with data. They had been observing Earth for a long time. They believed humans were weak. They thought Earth had no real danger, and now they wanted to take a test subject. "Scan complete," one of the aliens said in a cold voice. "Subject selected, human child, age 8. The leader of the mission, Commander Vexel, nodded. "Good. Bring him aboard. Let's see what these creatures are made of." The ship moved silently toward Earth. No alarms rang, no satellites noticed. It hovered over Liam's house like a shadow. A beam of soft blue light appeared and touched the roof. Inside, Liam vanished, taken in his sleep without a sound. The ship left Earth as quickly as it came. No one saw it. No one knew. Hours later, Liam opened his eyes. He was inside a round, glowing room. The walls pulsed with green light. Strange machines made soft beeping sounds. Liam sat up slowly. He wasn't afraid. Not yet. He looked around, confused. "Mom," he called. "Dad?" No answer. A door slid open. 3 Zarnok scientists entered. They had tall, thin bodies with gray skin and black eyes. One of them spoke through a machine that turned his alien language into simple English. "Do not be afraid. You are safe." Liam looked at them quietly. He didn't cry. He didn't scream. He just watched. Commander Vexel watched from another room. "Strange," he said. "Most subjects cry. This one is calm." "He is just a child," said one of the scientists. "We will begin tests soon." Back on Earth, Liam's parents woke up. They found his bed empty. The windows were closed. The doors were locked. They called the police. A search began, but there were no clues. No footprints. No camera footage. It was like Liam had simply disappeared. In space, something else had woken up, deep under the moon's surface. A machine opened its eyes. It was Sentinel-09, a forgotten warship built long ago by humans, long before they chose peace. It had one job: to protect Earth's children at any cost. Inside the child's body, a special DNA tag had activated when Liam was taken. Sentinel-09 received the signal. Its systems came online. "Earth blood has been touched. Retaliation protocol activated." Red lights flashed. Engines roared. The ship began to rise. Back on the alien ship, Liam sat quietly in a chair. Strange lights scanned his body. The Zarnok scientists looked confused. "His brain activity is unusual," one said. "It's like something is protecting him." Another scientist leaned closer. "Is it fear? Some human shield?" "No," the first one replied. "It feels more like a warning." Suddenly, the room's lights flickered. All screens went black. Then a deep voice came through every speaker on the ship. "You touched Earth blood. You made a mistake." The Zarnok crew froze. Panic spread. What was that? A message? A hack? Commander Vexel shouted, "Trace the signal now." But it was too late. A dark shape moved through the stars, faster than light. Silent. Cold. Sentinel-09 was coming. On Threxil, the Zarnok, homeworld alarms rang across the central science tower. "Emergency signal from Scout Ship 7, someone yelled. High above, General Vokar looked at the report. "They took a child? Without permission?" "Yes, sir. It was a simple test. They thought Earth was unguarded." Vokar's eyes narrowed. "Fools. Do they not remember the stories? The old wars?" An assistant whispered, "Sir, those are just myths. Humans were never that powerful." Vokar turned slowly. "They wiped out entire planets for far less. If that ship was real, we are all in danger." Back on the scout ship, the scientists were panicking. Liam stood up from the chair. He walked toward them slowly, his eyes calm. One of the scientists asked, "Why are you not afraid?" Liam looked up at him and said quietly, "Because I know they're coming." The scientist froze. "Who's coming?" Liam smiled, just a little. "The ones who made the stars fear the dark." At the edge of the galaxy, Sentinel-09 locked onto the Zarnok homeworld, its weapons powered up. Target confirmed. Retrieval in progress. In the deep silence of space, Sentinel-09 moved like a ghost. It had no crew, no living pilot. It was a machine, a weapon from the lost days of Earth's dark history. It had slept under the moon for over 100 years. But now, it was awake. Inside its metal body, red lights glowed. A voice echoed in its own empty halls. "DNA breach confirmed. Child taken. Earth blood endangered. All threats must be erased." It did not ask for permission. It did not wait for orders. It began to hunt. Meanwhile, on the Zarnok ship, Liam was no longer alone in the testing room. 2 guards stood by the door. Their weapons were ready. The scientists had stopped their experiments. Nothing was working. They had tried to scan Liam's brain, but the machines failed. They had tried to take samples from his blood, but the needles broke. One scientist whispered, "This child is not normal." Commander Vexil watched from behind, the glass, his arms crossed. "Enough games, take him to the mine chamber. We'll pull the truth from him directly." The scientist hesitated. "But sir, his DNA is unstable. It's reacting to our tech." "I said do it," Vexil snapped. On the bridge of the ship, a signal flashed. "Unknown object approaching." "At high speed," a soldier shouted. Commander Vexil turned. "Show me." The screen showed a single black shape moving through space. No signal, no ID. But it moved fast, faster than any known ship. It's headed straight for us. "Contact it," Vexil ordered. The soldier tried. No answer. Only static. Then a voice broke through the noise, cold and ancient. "Return the child. Final warning." Back in the lab, Liam sat in a large metal chair. Cables wrapped around his head. A glowing machine hovered over him. A scientist pressed a button. "Begin mind scan." But something went wrong. The machine shook. Sparks flew. And then, darkness. Every screen went black. Every light died. The ship was silent. Then, one by one, screens turned back on, not with Zarnok text but with Earth language. All of them showed the same message. "I am watching." The guards raised their weapons. The lights flickered again. A soft hum grew louder. It came from Liam. His eyes were open, but now they glowed. White. At that same moment, far away, Sentinel-09 arrived at a Zarnok listening station near the edge of their empire. The station hailed the strange ship. "This is Zarnok Sector Command. Identify yourself." Sentinel-09 did not reply. It simply fired. A beam of blue-white energy shot through the station. In less than 5 seconds, the station was gone. Dust in space. The few survivors tried to escape. They didn't make it. Inside, Sentinel-09, the AI logged the action. Threat neutralized. Continue course to Threxil. Retrieve the child. Destroy resistance. News spread fast through Zarnok territory. Military leaders gathered. Panic was in their voices. "What is this? Ship? Why did it attack us without warning? Where did it come from?" Only General Vokar remained calm. He stood before a large screen showing Earth's history, at least what the Zarnok had recorded. "It's not just a ship," he said quietly. "It's a memory." The others looked at him. "Long ago," Vokar explained, "humans were not simple farmers. They built weapons that could melt moons, ships that could move stars. Then they disappeared. We thought they gave up war, but we were wrong." He turned toward them. They didn't forget, they were just waiting. On the ship, Liam sat silently. One of the guards said, "He's not doing anything." Another replied, "But I feel like he's listening to something." Like he's not really here. Suddenly the walls of the room shook. A deep boom came from the distance. The lights turned red. Sirens screamed. Commander Vexel's voice shouted over the speaker. "We're under attack. Shields up. All hands prepare for impact." The guards ran out. Liam stood. He looked at the wall and whispered, "They're here." In space, Sentinel-09 hovered above the Zarnok scout ship. It didn't need to fire. Instead, it shut down the ship's systems, one by one. Lights, shields, engines, weapons, gone. It reached out with invisible waves, hacking the alien ship like opening a toy. Inside, crew members screamed in panic. "We've lost control. Something's inside our systems." Commander Vexel ordered a retreat. "Jump to warp." Nothing happened. "We can't. The engines are offline." Then the main screen of the ship turned on. The face of a human soldier appeared. Not real, just a recording. He looked straight at them. He spoke 5 words. "You touched the wrong child." Back in the lab, Liam smiled. For the first time, his voice was calm and sure. "You should have left me alone." The Zarnok scout ship drifted in space, helpless. Its engines were dead. Its shields were gone. Its weapons didn't respond. Inside, red warning lights flashed across every wall. The crew ran from room to room, yelling and panicking, and in the pure middle of it all, a child, Liam, stood perfectly still. Commander Vexel looked at the screen. It now showed a countdown. 59. 58. "What is this?" he shouted. "What's happening?" A Zarnok technician answered, voice shaking. "It's not a weapon, it's a message, a warning." "To who?" Vexel growled. The countdown continued. 35, 00, 34. Suddenly, a new voice echoed across the entire ship. Cold, calm, human. "Return the child, or be erased." Far away on the Zarnok homeworld Threxil, General Vokar watched footage from the destroyed listening station. There was nothing left, just dust and metal pieces floating in space. "Play it again," he ordered. The image looped. A black ship, a single energy beam, total destruction in seconds. An officer turned to him. "Sir, that same ship is now near Scout Ship 7, the one that took the human child." Vokar's eyes narrowed. "Have they sent a signal?" "Yes, sir." "We received one sentence." He handed over a data pad. Vokar read it aloud. "You touched the wrong child." He looked at the room of officers. "This isn't an attack, it's a message, and we're all about to hear it." On the scout ship, the countdown ended. Nothing exploded. Instead, every door on the ship unlocked. Liam's cell opened. The guards, who once watched him, now stood frozen. He stepped out, calm, silent. The ship trembled. Lights flickered. A Zarnok soldier tried to raise his weapon, but it melted in his hands. Liam walked past him. No one stopped him. They were all too afraid. "Commander," Vexel stared at Liam through the glass window in the hallway. "He's just a child," Vexel whispered. "No, sir," said the chief scientist. "He's something else. We scanned his DNA. It's not just human. It's marked, tagged by an old Earth defense protocol. His body is linked to a war machine. The ship outside is responding to him." "You mean," Vexel said slowly, "he's the key?" The scientist nodded. "And we just kidnapped him." On Threxil, panic spread fast. Some leaders wanted to return the child immediately. Others wanted to prepare for war. General Vokar stood in silence, staring at the star map. "Do you see it now?" he said. "We always thought humans were finished, that they gave up war and vanished into peace." He pointed to the black dot moving closer to Threxil. "But we forgot what they really are. They don't need armies, they don't need fleets, they send one machine for one child. And it's enough." Back on the scout ship, Liam reached the control room. The door slid open. No one stopped him. He walked to the center of the bridge and looked out the front window. There in the dark space was Sentinel-09. It hovered in silence, but Liam could hear it. Not with his ears, with something deeper. A soft voice echoed in his mind. "We are here. You are safe. For the first time, Liam felt warm. He felt strong. He whispered, "Take me home." The ship replied. First, a message must be sent. Every Zarnok screen on every ship, every lab, every city suddenly turned black. A single video began to play. It showed Earth, blue, bright, peaceful. Then it showed the old wars, battles, human ships wiping out enemy, fleets, superweapons melting planets, alien empires falling. The final image showed a human family, a mother, a father, a child, and then a single line of text: "We protect our own." On the Zarnok military base, alarms rang again. A fleet commander rushed into General Vokar's chamber. "General, the human ship has destroyed another listening post. No survivors. And did it speak?" Vokar asked. "Yes. Just one word. Warning." The general stood tall. "Begin evacuation plans. Tell the council. We may have already lost." Inside the scout ship, Commander Vexil finally gave the order. "Send a message. Tell them we surrender. We'll return the child." But there was no reply. The communication systems were silent. They had already been shut down. The ship was no longer under Zarnok control. Liam reached out and touched the control panel. It glowed under his fingers. And then, the ship moved. It turned away from its course. It began flying toward Earth. But Liam wasn't doing it alone. Sentinel-09 was guiding it. Down in the engine room, one scientist screamed, "Our systems! Something is inside them." He looked at his screen and saw a new symbol, a small red handprint, the ancient sign of Earth's lost warriors. Then a voice came from the speakers, cold, final. "First warning delivered. Do not touch Earth again." The stars were quiet. The Mia, Zarnok scout ship, now half dead and floating, moved slowly through space. It was heading back to Earth, but not under Zarnok control. The systems had been taken. The AI from Sentinel-09 was now flying the ship. No one on board could change its course. Inside, the crew stayed silent. Liam stood near the main console. His face was calm, but his eyes glowed faintly. The energy of the ancient AI still moved through him. Commander Vexil watched from behind the glass. He didn't dare approach the child again. "He's not just human anymore," he said quietly. One of the guards whispered, "He feels like a ghost, cold, watching everything." "No," Vexil replied. "He's not the ghost. We are." Meanwhile, Sentinel-09 followed behind the ship like a shadow. Its lights pulsed slowly like a heartbeat. Inside the machine, the AI spoke to itself. "Child is safe. Threat level contained. Next step, deliver message to Earth." But part of the AI was still awake, still watching the Zarnok. Sentinel-09 had not forgotten the original command: protect Earth, eliminate danger. And the Zarnok were not yet finished. Back on Threxel, the Zarnok homeworld, fear had turned to chaos. Cities locked down, ships left orbit. The Council of Elders argued in circles. Some wanted to prepare for war. Others demanded they hide. In a deep, underground vault, General Vokar stood alone in front of an ancient machine, one the Zarnok had never dared to use. It was called Project Reaper. "Activate it," Vokar ordered. An officer beside him looked shocked. "But sir, this weapon hasn't been tested. If we use it..." "We have no choice," Vokar said. "They sent a ghost ship to take one child. Imagine what they'll send if we don't answer." The Reaper began to glow. Back on the scout ship, strange things began to happen. Doors opened and closed by themselves. Lights flickered with no power. Voices echoed in the hallways, soft whispers in a language no Zarnok could understand. One crew member tried to send a message. The screen filled with static. Then a human face appeared, dead eyes, pale skin, a cold smile. The message was simple. You took, we follow. In the lower levels of the ship, two scientists explored the damage in the engine room. It feels wrong in here, one said. Like something is watching, the other replied. Then the walls began to bleed. Not blood, but memory. Images appeared in the metal. Flashes of earth. A forest. A child laughing. Then a battlefield. Fire. Screams. A hand reaching out, holding a small toy, Liam's toy. The image burned into the wall, then vanished. The scientists ran. Liam walked alone through the ship now. Wherever he stepped, the lights followed. He stopped near the old storage bay. Slowly the door opened. Inside was a mirror. It wasn't there before. He walked closer and saw something strange. His reflection was not him. It was a soldier, armored, older, eyes like fire. The reflection looked at him and spoke with his voice. They don't understand what you are, but they will. Then the image faded. Liam turned and whispered, I don't want to hurt anyone. But the walls around him only replied with silence. Suddenly, the ship's alarm blared. Commander, Vexel rushed to the bridge. What now? A Zarnok tech shouted, something is approaching, no ID, no signal. The crew looked out the window. Another ship had appeared, but this one wasn't human. It was Zarnok, black and sharp, powered by the forbidden weapon, Project Reaper. Why are they here? One crew member asked. They know we surrendered. No, Vexel said. They're not here to help us, they're here to erase the evidence. On board the Reaper ship, General Vokar gave the order. Destroy the scout ship. If the humans are watching, we'll show them we're not weak. Sir, the child is on board, someone said. I know, Vokar replied coldly. And if they want war, we'll give it to them. The Reaper ship charged its main weapon, energy built in a glowing orb. Inside the scout ship, Liam felt it. He looked up at the ceiling and whispered, They're going to shoot us. Commander Vexel shouted, Shields up! No use! A technician screamed. We don't have control. Just as the Reaper weapon fired, a dark shape passed between the two ships. Sentinel-09. Its body took the full blast. The energy beam hit it like a sun, but the machine didn't break. It absorbed the weapon, held it, then fired it back. The Reaper ship exploded. Burning fireball lit the dark space. Liam watched from the window. He didn't blink. The ship shook. Then it stopped. Silence returned. The Zarnok crew stared at the screens. No one spoke. Then, every panel turned black again. White text appeared. This was your only chance. Next time we erase your son. Liam turned away from the window. His eyes no longer glowed. He walked back to the center of the ship and sat down. Sentinel-09's voice came through once more. Home is waiting. And together they continued their journey back to Earth. The sky over Earth looked peaceful. Blue oceans, green lands, white clouds, but deep under the surface, far beneath the cities and soil, the old world was waking up. In a hidden base below Antarctica, alarms rang after 100 years of silence. Message had arrived, a signal carried by Sentinel-09. The words were simple: child taken, war attempted, awaiting orders. Commander Rhea Dalton of Earth's Defense Corps stood in front of the ancient screen. Her hair was gray, but her eyes were sharp. She had trained her entire life for something that never came. Until now. Her hand hovered over a black panel. She pressed one button. All across Earth, deep systems activated, the ones most people didn't even know existed. Old satellites came online. Buried drones crawled from hidden bunkers. And in space, 2 more Sentinels opened their eyes. Back on the Zarnok scout ship, Liam sat quietly in the bridge. He stared out the window as Earth slowly came into view, blue and beautiful, like the pictures in his storybooks. Behind him, the Zarnok crew stayed, far away. Commander Vexel didn't dare speak to the child now. He simply watched how the boy had changed, how space itself seemed to protect him. In Earth orbit, new voices began speaking. Human ones. Scout ship. You are entering protected zone. Identify. Vexel rushed forward. This is Commander Vexel of the Zarnak Union. We are returning the child. We surrender. Please don't fire. The voice replied, cold and calm. We're not aiming at you. We're watching. Another voice came through. This one, female. Liam, can you hear us? The boy looked up. Yes? We're bringing you home, brave one. A tear ran down his cheek. On Earth's surface, people all over the world saw something strange in the sky. A dark streak crossing the stars followed by a silver light. News reporters shouted, government scrambled. But the Defense Corps knew what to do. At an old landing site in the Nevada desert, huge doors opened. The skies shook. The Zarnak scout ship entered Earth's atmosphere, guided by Sentinel-9 like a parent guiding a lost child. It landed slowly, smoke hissing from its sides, and then silence. Inside the ship, Liam stood. The doors opened. Sunlight touched his face for the first time in weeks. He stepped out. Soldiers waited, but they didn't raise weapons. Instead, they stood at attention. Not for the Zarnak. For him. Commander Rhea approached the child. She knelt and opened her arms. Liam ran forward and hugged her tight. You're safe now, she whispered. You did well. The Zarnak crew slowly exited the ship. Hands up. Rhea looked at them coldly. You kidnapped one of our own. Commander Vexil dropped to one knee. We didn't know what he was. We didn't mean for war. Rhea replied. You didn't mean to get caught? That night, in a secure room deep underground, Liam sat with warm food and soft blankets. He didn't speak much. He was tired. Doctors scanned him. Scientists watched. But Rhea didn't ask questions. She simply sat beside him. Do you know what happened? She asked gently. Liam nodded. They wanted to study me. But the ship, it found me. It protected me. Do you know what Sentinel-09 is? He shook his head. Rhea looked out the window. A long time ago, we built machines to protect the future. We thought we'd never need them again. But we were wrong. Far above Earth, the other two Sentinels waited. They had orders now. Watch the stars. Protect the bloodline. Strike only when the signal is given. In deep space, Zarnak Command tried to contact Earth again. They begged. They promised peace. They sent gifts. Earth did not reply. In the council chambers on Threxil, fear filled every face. General Vokar stood alone, surrounded by silence. They didn't fire, one leader said. Maybe they will forgive. No, Vokar replied. They are doing something worse. The others turned. They are watching. Back on Earth, Liam looked at the stars. Will they come again? He asked. Rhea placed a hand on his shoulder. Yes, one day. What will we do then? She smiled. We'll be ready. Then a soft sound echoed through the base. Boom, boom, boom. 3 pulses. A signal from deep space. The Sentinels heard it. They responded with one word. Acknowledged. The stars remained quiet. But Earth was awake now, and the universe had been warned. Far away from Earth, on the cold world of Threxil, the Zarnak High Council met in secret. Thick black curtains covered the windows. No cameras, no guards, only silence. 12 Zarnak elders sat around a long metal table. Their faces were pale, their eyes wide with fear. General Vokar stood at the end of the room. They know, he said. The humans know everything. One elder leaned forward. What did we awaken? Vokar answered. Not just a child, not just a machine. We awakened a force that should have stayed buried. He dropped a file on the table. The title glowed, in red. Project Starchild. Long ago, before the Zarnak-Human War, the Council had made a decision. They were afraid of Earth's strength. Humans were too advanced, too fast, too dangerous. So the Council had tried something dark, a secret plan to control human evolution. They found children from Earth, orphans, lost ones. They kidnapped them quietly, never leaving proof. They ran tests. Some died. Some changed. One survived. "Boy, Liam! We made him," one elder whispered. "We changed his DNA. We gave him access to their old weapons." Vokar slammed the table. "No, we didn't make him. We triggered what was already there." He looked around. "You wanted a weapon. What you created is a beacon. A call." "Call to who?" another elder asked. Vokar pointed to the sky. "To every human war machine still watching." Meanwhile on Earth, Liam sat inside a round room deep below the Nevada base. Around him stood 4 silent guardians, old warriors trained for one purpose: to protect Earth's greatest secrets. On the far wall, a screen turned on. An old man's face appeared. His name was Director Kane. He was the last surviving member of the ancient Human Defense Command. "Liam," Kane said, "you carry something inside you, a mark that no other human has had in 1,000 years." Liam looked down. "Because of the Zarnok?" Kane shook his head. "No, because you were chosen before you were born." Kane pressed a button. The screen changed. It showed a massive black sphere floating in deep space. "This is Vault Prime," he said. "The last storage unit of Earth's forbidden weapons. It's still active," he continued. "But it only responds to a genetic key." He stared into Liam's eyes. "You are the key." Back on Threxel, chaos was spreading. Civil riots, fires in the cities. Zarnok citizens screamed, demanding to know what the Council had done. They had seen the warnings from Earth. They had seen Sentinel-09 destroy a warship like it was paper. Fear turned to rage, and the Council began to fall. But Vokar had another plan. He entered a private chamber. In the center stood a frozen pod. Inside it, a human child. Another one. Sleeping, alive. Vokar pressed a panel. A voice spoke from the screen. "Project Starchild, test subject 002, active." He stared into the pod and said, "If Earth has one, then so will we." On Earth, Liam walked with Commander Rhea through a white hallway. Every wall showed parts of history: the fall of alien empires, the rise of Earth's machines, and finally, the peace. "Why did we stop fighting?" Liam asked. Rhea replied, "Because we won, and we chose peace." He looked up at her. "Then why do we still build weapons?" She stopped walking. "Because the stars are not kind." That night, in the control room, a strange signal was picked up. It wasn't from space, it was from deep under Threxel's surface. Sentinel-09 analyzed it. Message decoded. Phase 2 begins. Earth will fall from inside. Director Kane stared at the message. "This isn't just war," he said. "It's revenge." Rhea turned to Liam. "Are you ready?" He didn't smile. He just said, "Yes." In space, a hidden ship launched from Threxel. Silent fast. Inside was the second child, eyes closed, face calm. But his heartbeat matched Liam's. 2 lives. 1 signal. Something ancient was waking up. Far in the void, Vault Prime opened for the first time in a century. Inside, machines began to hum. Lights glowed red. One by one, the weapons of Earth's forgotten past came online. Each one whispered the same word: awakened. The stars were still, but something moved between them. Fast, silent, cold. A small black ship, like a knife through the void. Inside it, a boy slept in a glass pod. His skin was pale, his heartbeat slow. Around him, the machines whispered, checking every part of his body. His name was Subject 002, but he had once been human, taken like Liam, changed, but not saved. On Earth, Liam woke up from a dream. He sat up, sweating. The lights in his room flickered. The air was heavy. Commander Rhea entered quickly. "Are you all right?" Liam didn't answer right away. Then he whispered, "He's close." "Who?" "The other one." Deep in Earth's orbit, Sentinel-09 sent a silent alert. Incoming. Vessel detected. Signature unknown, human modified. Inside the Earth Defense Command Center, red lights began to flash. Director Kane looked at the screen. Prepare intercept teams. One officer asked, Sir, should we destroy it? Kane looked at Liam, who was now standing behind him. No, Liam said. You need to talk to him. The black ship slowed as it reached Earth's orbit. It didn't answer any signals, it didn't ask for permission, it simply opened, and the second child stepped out. His eyes were empty. His skin pale. He didn't breathe heavily. He didn't need to. He floated toward the surface, controlled, silent, focused. He landed in the Nevada desert, just 1 mile from the base. Soldiers surrounded him, weapons ready. But he did not attack. He just stared. Then he spoke with a flat, cold voice. Where is the first? Rhea and Liam arrived together. The boy looked at Liam, and Liam felt it, like a mirror staring back at him. The two boys stood facing each other. The wind moved the dust around their feet. You feel like me, Liam said. No, the second child answered. You feel broken. I feel complete. Commander Rhea stepped forward. Who sent you? The ones who made us both, the boy replied. But they made me better. Rhea narrowed her eyes. What do you want? The boy turned to Liam. I want him to join me, or fall. Back. In the command center, Sentinel-09 sent another message. Subject 002 displays advanced neural control. Power level, rising. Danger level, critical. Suddenly the sky above the base turned dark. Clouds gathered without warning. The ground shook slightly. The second child raised his hand. A wave of force pushed the soldiers back. But Liam stood still. He raised his own hand, and the wave stopped. The two powers met in the air, crashing silently like waves in a storm. Dust and sand floated around them. Machines in the base went offline for 10 seconds. Then everything turned quiet again. I don't want to fight you, Liam said. You don't have a choice. The second boy replied. You belong with me. We are not meant to live among them. Liam shook his head. You're wrong. I remember Earth. I remember kindness. The second boy stepped closer. I remember pain. That night, in the secret labs below Earth's base, Rhea met with Director Kane. We can't stop both of them if they fight, she said. Kane nodded. We don't need to stop them. We need to choose one. Rhea stared at him. You mean, turn one into a weapon? Kane didn't answer, because deep down they both knew it had already begun. Meanwhile, Liam sat alone, looking at the stars. The second child appeared beside him, silent. No one saw him enter. No alarms went off. They simply knew. I had a dream, Liam said. In it, Earth burned. You stood over the fire. I tried to stop you. The other boy didn't blink. I had the same dream, but I was trying to save us both. And you tried to stop me. The wind picked up. Voice came from the air, Sentinel-09. Connection between subjects confirmed. DNA pattern match 98%. Status, twin class anomaly. Rhea's voice followed in the comms. You're brothers. The boys turned to each other. I don't want to be your enemy, Liam said again. You're not. The second child replied. You're my test. He vanished into the shadows, just like that. Gone. The next morning, the second child attacked. A Zarnok listening post on Mars, no one survived. He sent a message to Earth. The Zarnok tried to shape us. Now we shape the stars. I will bring order, with or without my brother. Back at Vault Prime, deep in space, more machines began to wake up. Old machines, ancient weapons. Some whispered Liam's name. Some whispered the other ones, and Earth's old guardians looked to the sky. Because soon, the final choice would have to be made. Earth was no longer quiet. All across the planet, satellites spun faster. Bases were on full alert. Drones flew through the sky like birds ready for war. Because the time had come. Liam's twin, Subject 002, was preparing to strike. In the Nevada command base, Liam stood inside a circle of glowing light. Around him, Earth's last war minds, the old AI cores, watched in silence. They were testing him, measuring, asking one question: will you protect or will you destroy? Commander Rhea stood outside the circle, holding her breath. She didn't trust machines, but right now, Earth needed every weapon it had. And Liam was the strongest of them all. Meanwhile, far above Earth, a storm was forming in orbit, not made of clouds, but of metal. The second child had taken control of an abandoned Zarnok battle fleet. It floated above Earth, silent and deadly. In the center, ship, Subject 002 stared down at the blue planet. "It's time," he whispered. The Defense Council met underground. Director Kane spoke first. "We have two choices: fire first, or let the brothers face each other." One general shouted, "He has Zarnok weapons, we can't risk it." But Rhea raised her hand. "No. If Liam is who we believe he is, he won't let Earth fall." Kane nodded. "We give him the choice." Liam stood on the launch pad, ready. Sentinel-09 hovered above, humming with ancient power. "You were born on Earth," Rhea said softly, "but you were shaped in the stars." Liam nodded. Then he looked at her. "If I fail, stop him." She stepped forward and hugged him. "You won't fail." In orbit, the two brothers met, face to face. No armies, no soldiers, just them. Above, the Earth they both came from, but only one called it home. "You came," Subject 02 said. Liam replied, "to stop you. You think this world deserves protection? These people? They create war, then they forget it." Liam's voice was calm. "I remember kindness. I remember stories. I remember love." Subject 02 frowned. "Then you are weak." Liam shook his head. "No, I'm human." And then, the battle began, not with guns, not with fire, but with force of mind. Waves of energy cracked the stars around them. Satellites fell from orbit. Space bent and twisted. Sentinel-09 screamed warnings, but no one could stop them now. On Earth, people looked up. They saw light in the sky, like two suns fighting. They didn't know the full truth, but they felt it in their hearts. Something important was happening. Liam was losing. The second child was stronger, faster, colder. He had no fear, no pain. But Liam had something else. He remembered his mother's voice. He remembered Rhea's hug. He remembered Earth. And he screamed, with all his soul. Suddenly, a third light appeared. Vault Prime. Deep in Space responded. A golden beam shot through the stars and hit Liam's chest. His body glowed, not with fire, but with memory, hope, family, home. He looked at his brother. "You are not my enemy." Subject 002 froze. "You're lying." But his hands trembled. "You were never broken," Liam said. "You were just alone." For the first time, Subject 002 blinked, and then he cried. One tear, 1 second, and the storm ended. The fleet shut down. The weapons turned cold. The stars grew quiet. The two boys floated down to Earth together. Rhea ran forward and hugged them both. Director Kane watched from a screen. He smiled for the first time in years. A message went out to the galaxy. Earth is not weak. Earth is not violent. But Earth will never let its children be taken again. The Zarnok Council dissolved the next day. Worlds that once feared Earth now sent gifts, not out of fear, but respect. Because Earth had done something no other race could. They had won a war with mercy. Years later, two young men stood outside a small home in the green hills of Earth. Liam and his brother, no longer enemies, just twins, brothers, guardians of peace. Above them, the sentinels still watched, but they no longer waited for war. They listened for something else now: laughter, music, life, and they whispered one last word: Humanity. Confirmed.